What are you doing?
Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And this is JJ Cruz. Thank you for tuning in today to watch me eat chicken enchiladas.
Oh my gosh. I'm disgusted. I'm truly disgusted. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to talk about some things on cruise ships that are coming back in full force and actually tell you a story of how a woman ruined our meal on a recent cruise. We have been back in action on cruise ships, and if you don't know us, that is what we do. We cruise almost half the year, and we cruised about half the year last year, and we love going on cruise ships. So if you love going on cruise ships as well, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the thumbs up for this video, letting YouTube know that you love cruise content.
We just got back from 3 weeks of cruising. We actually took the 3 mainstream cruise lines and did side-to-side cruises. We started on a Norwegian cruise line ship, then jumped over to Carnival Cruise Line, and ended on Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas. We made a lot of observations during those 3 weeks, specifically on cutbacks. We know in 2023, all of the cruise lines have had to do some major cutbacks, and there's a lot of chatter online right now about what those cutbacks are and all of your feelings sitting at home on those cutbacks.
There's a lot of people talking online about these cutbacks, yet very few people actually experience them on cruise ships. And we are one of the only cruise vloggers out there that has been on all 3 major cruise lines, minus MSC. And we have seen them full force. So the one we're focusing on for today is that of dining. And that has been a huge talk right now, is regards to how is dining different from the restart. Now, even though today's isn't so much financial or about, ways that the cruise lines are saving money, this one is going to be a lot about how it has changed from the restart, which we think is maybe not in the best ways of a change.
We've seen quite a few cutbacks in regards to dining on all 3 cruise lines. Specifically in the main dining room, we know that there's been dining room menu changes. Certain items that maybe you've seen in the past every single night on that menu are no longer there. And that has a lot of people, ruffled up about these changes. There's another change, however, in the buffet that quite a few people are not very happy about. And that is in regards to self-service in the buffet area.
If you don't know what we're talking about, during the pandemic, while cruising was coming back in the restart, a lot of cruise lines went to the crew servicing you throughout all buffet stations. Now, of course, we knew this wasn't something that would probably last forever, even though everyone loves it. The reason being is, when the crew is servicing you, even though you might not get the exact portion you wanted or the exact portion of the dish you wanted, you still get the food completely sanitary in a great way where it's nice and clean, you're not touching anything, and they have gloves on. So it really can't be any type of a sanitary issue.
So many of you at home sent us messages saying, we hope that this never goes away and that the crew serving you at the stations in the buffet remains something consistent.
I think the only people that didn't like it were those that don't like their food to touch, which completely to each their own, but I think the good outweighed the bad there.
So this change has been made in all buffets pretty much across all cruise ships. We did try the buffet on all 3 cruise lines this past month, and all 3 did have self-service stations. So you were back to the normal, people's hands everywhere, and while the cruise lines do encourage you to wash your hands before coming into the buffet, you know as well as I do, not everyone does that.
So today's story is all regarding, this issue, point blank. We were on a cruise ship, one of the 3, we won't name the exact one, but we were in line for, let's just say, an Asian style preparing of dish. The way that this dish is prepared is you walk through the line, you go ahead and dish out, kind of like a salad bar, but dish out all of the ingredients, and once you get to the end, they'll go ahead and prepare it for you in a giant wok or a giant bowl of some sort, and then prepare it with a sauce and give it back to you. Now, as you know, with an omelet station or with this type of station, the line can get quite long and it's quite slow. They're doing it fresh for you. There's nothing sitting out, which is great. But that means that people have time to just stand in line, grab a little bit from one container, wait another 2 minutes, and then grab some from the next container once they move forward. And that's how the line proceeds in this type of situation.
We were standing in line to wait on our food for about 20 minutes. However, as we start to get up to the actual stations where you select your vegetables and things to put in your bowl that's about to be stir-fried, there was a person in front of us partaking in some, well, we think it is unexcusable buffet behavior. She had her plate there that was already kind of put together from other stations, so it had a lot of different types of foods on it, and she didn't have any utensils. So instead of setting that plate down at her table or using a fork, she just dug right into her food right there while we were in line with her fingers.
First and foremost, you should never eat in line to begin with. It doesn't matter if you have a fork, if you have a spoon, if it's like a sippy cup. Like, you shouldn't be eating or drinking because there are particles from your mouth while you're eating that could come out. It happens to all of us. It's not like it's a thing that only happens to certain types of people, but sometimes there might be some spit. There might be something of food that goes in your mouth and comes back out. That is just disgusting to begin with. But for this woman to have a full plate of food with lots of different types, which we'll get into here, and start to just dig in with her fingers. Oh.
I want to paint the picture a little bit clearer for those of you at home, and I'm just going to give a little bit of a warning. This gets graphic. So she had barbecue ribs and barbecue chicken on her plate with a side of baked beans. It was your good old Southern comfort food, and she was digging into that meat with her fingers, taking the meat, put it in her mouth, and then licking every single one of her fingers. Again, she wasn't sitting down at a table. She was standing in line where she was going from licking her fingers to then touching the serving utensils to put vegetables in her bowl for her stir fry. That is correct. There was slobbery barbecue sauce from her mouth all over the tongs.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I can finish this video. This is absolutely disgusting, but his telling of this is bringing me some remembrance of that day because it was so disgusting and no one spoke up. She was with friends too. That was the craziest thing to me. The wildest part is the fact that she had friends there just watching her do it and just kept talking to her, just like, no big deal. Like, this is a normal thing to do at any kind of luncheon or barbecue or buffet. You know, let's go to the Golden Corral and let's go ahead and eat in line and then just, put it all into our face with our fingers and then go ahead and grab another utensil to serve some more. It was just disgusting. We obviously did not finish the line. We could not. This is such a disgusting thing. We didn't say anything because we don't think that's our place to do so, but we wanted to get your thoughts on this. Please comment below. Is this something that you have seen? We have all seen, I think, that one-off kid that doesn't have a parent nearby, goes in and grabs the mashed potatoes or drops the spoon in the mashed potatoes and then digs around for it. But a grown woman, an adult woman on a cruise ship doing this, have you seen this? And do you think there's another way? Is there another way for us to be more sanitary, but then also be able to give the crew more time to themselves? Because that's the end of the reason why that this is back. Cutbacks are back, and that is because they need crew to be elsewhere. They can't have as many crew as they had initially for the pandemic, and they have more guests than ever before. So we get why, but let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
That was the story for today. Again, if you liked this story, I'm sure you probably didn't, but if you like our channel, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, see ya.